freedom to be yourself, freedom to be proud of your culture, you know what I'm saying? What's up, Mabuhay Squad? Good, well, technically morning. Here in Toronto, Canada, my family home. It's so nice to be back. It's currently 3:34 a.m. I'm kind of a vampire right now because, of course, jet lag. I've been sleeping all day today during the day, waking up at like 1 a.m., 12 midnight. It's just crazy. Like, being jet lagged is one of those things that you can't fight. You just really have to like wait it out. I tried to stay up during the day. It was not working. Drank lots of coffee even, but nope, had to sleep. But it's nice to be back home. Weather's great. I know my neighbors are probably looking at me like, who is this bald man walking around the neighborhood at 3:30 a.m. in the morning? Just kidding. These neighbors know how crazy I am. It's so great because I loved living in this neighborhood since 1989 when we moved here. It's a very safe neighborhood. It's called Neighborhood Watch. Like, here, I'll show you this sign right here. It says, no, this is not Illuminati. It's this community is protected. Neighborhood Watch. Meaning, it's your business to look out the window and report anything suspicious. You know, my mom was very strict. She wouldn't let me play in the park unless she was watching us or there was a grown-up watching us, even just next door. But this neighborhood is very safe because everyone kind of knows each other. Everybody looks out their window often to just check to see if things are okay, if there's anything out of the ordinary, you know what I mean? And I like that. I really enjoyed growing up here. When I first moved here, it was all predominantly Italian. I grew up with Italians, guys. And like Caucasian Canadians. And now it's kind of really mixed now, which is great. And it still, well, from the looks of things, still looks pretty much the same. And I'm sure a lot of these families still live here. You know, it was a great upbringing. I sometimes do miss living in Canada. What do I miss? Well, I certainly miss my friends and family. I miss them a lot. But I also miss sometimes the placidity. You know what I mean? Is that a word? Like, how everything's so quiet and peaceful. Manila, of course, there's so much going on, so much stimulation. You can't look anywhere or go anywhere where there isn't some kind of like chaos happening, and I've learned to love that, and I do love that, but sometimes it's kind of nice to just step out of your home to complete peace and quiet. Now, part of the reason why it's so quiet and peaceful right now is because everybody's sleeping. Like, everyone has to get up for work at like 3 hours. So that's another thing I find here in Toronto that's different from, say, Manila, is that everyone works really hard. Not to say they don't work really hard in Manila, but in Manila, I almost feel like they still make time during the week to kind of like, you know, hang out and chill, go hang with friends, hang outside your place, have beers, you know, even on a weekday, even on a work day. So, but here, it's almost like they reserve all of that living life part of one's life for the weekends. They really look forward to the weekends. Of course, I can't speak for all Filipinos, I can't speak for all Canadians, but that's just my personal observation. Like, if I were to call some of my Filipino friends and be like, hey, you want to go to the bar? Or you want to go out and eat? They'll say, yeah, for sure, most likely. But here, if I do that during the week, sometimes it's half and half. Sometimes they'll be like, oh, sorry, I got work tomorrow, you know, and it's understandable because everyone needs to work because it's expensive here. Life in Toronto is quite expensive, more expensive than a lot of places in Canada. Yes, now this is the main road, Weston Road. My corner store down there, Becker's. Oh man, it's so nice to be back. Nothing's changed really. Over the years, nothing has really changed. It's quite nice. This is morning traffic, guys. 3:30 a.m. traffic. Now, after Canadian Idol, right? So I was a 21, 22-year-old. Just as a backgrounder, I had stopped university because I really wanted to be an entertainer. Canadian Idol happened, so it helped me get my foot in the door as a performer, as a singer. But then eventually, obviously, as more Idol seasons came out, work got harder for me to find because I can't be riding on the coattails of Canadian Idol for years and years and years. And the only way I would get paid is through, well, selling CDs or actual gigs, like getting paying gigs. And even those were not really high paying. So I struggled for a bit. And then I tried to get like an ordinary job, so to speak. And I did. I worked as a cargador, which is like someone who wheels in food into the back ends of the restaurants. I did that in Montreal. And I worked at an office, an online jeweler company called ice.com in Montreal as well. But for most of my life in my 20s, I was unemployed, trying to get by. I even did renovations. Can you believe it? Can you imagine me with a hammer and like nails and stuff and like ripping out floors? Oh, I did that. It was tough. And then eventually I had to move back in with my parents because, I mean, how am I gonna afford life that way? But I find that those years in my 20s were really character building. It helped me appreciate earning money in my 30s because YouTube, this whole YouTube explosion for me happened right when I was 29, like as I was leaving my 20s. It was the perfect time. I almost, in hindsight, I feel like the universe, God, planned it perfectly for me. He let my 20s be kind of rough and tough, but still awesome. Had some great times in my 20s. Wow, amazing times. But he helped me go through all of that at that phase of my life. And now that I'm in my 30s, in my earning years and responsible years, and the years that I feel like I'm really living life, it's great. It couldn't have happened at a better time. I'm glad I went through all of my unemployment struggling years in my 20s. And this is why I always tell people when I do inspirational talks that, you know, you guys are in your 20s, you guys are babies. You're not supposed to figure things out by then. Forget what your parents are saying. I know I didn't. So yeah, anyways, every time I come back home here in Toronto, I'm taken back to those years, my 20s, my roughing it years. I love going outside. This weather's awesome. I think it's about, my guess is, it's about 18 degrees, 19 degrees Celsius. Nice and cool, but not cold. It's the beginning of summer, of course. It'll start to get hotter and hotter as the days go by. Here's an overpass. I used to wait for the bus at this bus stop here every day. You know what? It's at this time that you'll usually find deer running around. Yes, in the city, can you imagine? There are deer running around here. And they come out usually like the wee hours of the night. My dad will sometimes say he sees them going to work. They've even come up to my house allegedly and eaten our plants. I once saw deer crossing the street there at this time of the night. And now look, the Canadian side of me kicks in. There are practically no cars, but I'm still not going to cross the street until that turns green. It's force of habit. If this were Manila, oh man, I'd be on the other side by now. Now people ask me, what do I love more? The Philippines or Canada? I love both. I know those in Canada are like, oh no. And people in Philippines are like, you sell out. No, I do love both. I don't know, I've grown to love the Philippines. I feel like it's a never-ending tropical vacation getaway there. I feel like my skills, me personally, I feel like my skills are most utilized. I feel the most useful in the Philippines, like with my skill sets, I suppose. All my resources are there. I just really love it there. And of course, my blood is Filipino. My mom and dad are Filipino, so then there's that sentiment attachment too. Like my DNA just resonates as soon as I step on Philippine soil. And I love discovering the Philippines. I love it. But of course, Canada will always be my home. I love Toronto, or Toronto. See, I'm even saying Toronto differently. I love the amazing environment it provided me growing up, and my brother and my cousins. I love just the air. There's a certain freedom here in Canada. Freedom to be yourself, freedom to be proud of your culture, you know what I'm saying? To bring with you a piece of the country you're from and like plant your seeds of opportunity here. Oh, hi doggy. You can have pets. Animals have rights here. I mean, not to say that they don't have rights in the Philippines, but I mean, they still keep dogs in cages in a lot of places in the Philippines. Like, that's their perception of animals is still really old school for the most part. Not everybody, of course, but you know, yeah, it's just a different thing out here. Of course, I love Canada, so I love both. I do love both. I will always be coming back and forth. Where I will be based is, I guess, it depends on my stage in my life at the time of asking. I don't know where I'm going actually. Do I want kids? I don't know. I would love to be involved in the raising of children. I raise all of your kids. I do all of my parodies and your kids watch them and they learn from my videos. All the ANTSCANADA videos, all you parents are messaging me saying my kid loves your ant videos, blah, blah, blah. So I feel like I'm still influencing the young, and so I'm fulfilled in that sense. Who knows, maybe I might adopt if I'm already too old to have kids. But I will never be too old to have kids. I don't like the word old. I will never grow old. My brain stay the same. I'm gonna live forever like a vampire. Yeah, but we'll see. As always, I've got some loose goals and plans, but they're always very flexible depending on where the universe decides to take me. And I'll be grateful for the whole journey. Thank you, Mabuhay Squad, for watching and joining me on this random walk at 3:30 or 4 a.m. in the morning through my neighborhood here in Toronto, Canada. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Join the Mabuhay Squad family. You guys are my family. It means a lot to me. All the support you guys give on whatever channel you guys watch. Mwah. Bye!
Oh, baby Miguel, how are you? So cute. I love you, anak. Well, I like that you are my food bank and that you changed my diaper. But that's about it. Are you hungry? No, you just ate. And you beat me. I just love your beautiful eyes. They're so blue.